Let's bring in a true athlete, the champ, Brandon Marshall. Okay, Brandon, your kicker goes down. Your coach comes up to you. Brandon, I need a 29-yard field goal. Could you do it?
There's no way. Look, it's a different skill set to have to kick. First of all, look at his approach right there.
He was horrible.
There's no way that he's made it right now. I've actually made a 30-yard field goal, but I missed two, and then I posted the one that I made.
Well, of course.
That's how you got to do it.
All right. Well, we'll find out how Jack did a bit later. Big news came out this week about Aaron Rodgers. He has been cleared to return to practice. As someone who played football a long time, certainly racked up your fair share of injuries. Do you think this is actually going to happen? Is Aaron Rodgers actually going to come back and play this season?
I think somebody's lying. Because he tore his Achilles in September, right? For them to open the window. Now, if they open the window, it's a serious thing. It's not like, oh, it's just for the, the propaganda. No, they opened the window for a real thing, right? So he couldn't have tore his Achilles, or he knows something that we don't, right? So for him to come back in 3 months after potentially 3 months after a torn Achilles,
right,
it's mind-boggling. There's no way.
Now, he did hedge it, saying, he'd have to be fully healthy, and his team would have to be in the playoff hunt, which, let's be honest, New York is not in the playoff hunt.
Right.
But, hey, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know how that's going to happen. Like, me and my friends, my NFL buddies that's talked, we still don't, know how it's possible. We've all played football through college. We there's no way that we've seen anybody tear an Achilles and come back that fast.
All right. Well, we'll find out if he actually does. I want to ask you, we've been talking a lot about playoff teams and how hard it is for teams to repeat and get back in the playoffs. About 7 new teams every year. You've been on teams that made it one year and didn't the next. Like, from someone in the locker room, from the locker room perspective, what's the difference between a team that's successful and one that's not?
Well, what happened with us in Denver after we won, the big game, when Peyton Manning left, right? That was our biggest thing.
Well, there you go.
So we switched. Our quarterback, situation went from Hall of Fame to, bottom of the barrel, if I'm being honest with you. So a lot of these teams that we're speaking about, they have the same quarterback year in and year out. Now it's tough to stay on top of the league consistently, right? Look at Buffalo, right? They had their window. They had their run. I truly believe their run is over. They're 6-6 right now.
Yeah.
They're finding ways to lose the game. They should have had that game against Philly.
Oh, geez,
With the same team, right? Yes, they've had injuries, but at the same time, it's still tough to stay on top and to consistently make the playoffs.
Well, let's end with your team, Denver. Start of the year horrifically, gave up 70 points, and now they've got the longest winning streak in the league, 5 games.
Yeah.
Can they climb all the way back and make the playoffs?
It's funny because they're not doing it in a sexy way, right? Nobody looks at Denver and say, okay, look, they're flashy, they're sexy, this looks good. They're just finding ways to win. And the thing about their defense is they've been turning the ball over, right? Or they've been creating turnovers game after game, multiple turnovers, right? So that's what's catapulting this team into this category, right, of potentially making the playoffs. Win 5 games in a row, right? I'm excited. I'm ecstatic, because my hopes for the season was in the dumps.
Of course.
Especially in the very beginning and when they started 0-3 and giving up 70 points, I almost had the bag that I need to put over my face. But
the bag's off now.
I think they have they have opportunity. Obviously, they have to have a lot go their way.
Sure.
But I think they have opportunity.
They put themselves in a position to do so. All right.